to a new episode of Culture Magazine. Today we have several segments and topics in our show, so stay tuned for more here on Culture Magazine. Foundation, established mainly to create awareness on a rare skin disease, is EB. Stay with us to know more on EB through a conference held here in Cairo to discuss the latest scientific research on the cure of the disease and how to support patients and their families. If it's genetic, the child is born by that disease since birth. But if it's an immune, no, the child, maybe after, for example, a mother give birth, a normal mother give birth to a child, and all of a sudden she has blisters. This is an immune. The mother has blisters. Yes. And sometimes people can have the epidermolysis bullosa by the age of 50, 40. This is an immune. It's treated with cortisone and so on. But the genetic one, it's a long life care and support. From my point of view, the media now, it's a very, very important part in the life of any rare disease. So if you want to address this disease, instead of talking to 1, 2, 3 persons, no, through the media, you talk to thousands. You talk to audiences. A lot of people, if they don't know the disease, they're going to search for it, so they will know more. If they meet any of them, of course they can handle in a very good way, not like abusing or not like looking at them not in a good way. So what I want to know is the media is very, very important. If it's a TV media, if it's a press media, if it's all the kind of media, Facebooks and so on, it's really to the target that this disease, if it really people wants to know about it, if it's 10% by myself, with the media it's 90%. Now we are talking and fighting that these children, these EB children, can be under the 5% handicapped in order to have the rights, and also under the insurance. For the cure, yes, now there is a cure. There is a big company in US which is called Crystal. They have the curable vials. Is it a final cure? It's not the final cure, but the percentage is too high, and they used it on recessive dystrophic, which is more aggressive in the disease itself. And yes, they have a very good rate of cure, but of course everything very promising, but it's very expensive. So governments has to be responsible. Yes, governments have to deal with this kind of product, which is the curable product, and hopefully, maybe if the government of all countries all over the world can do that and participate, I think within another year or something like that, could be the price of this curable vials can be reduced and everybody can use it.
joined today by Dr. Ritu Jain. She's president of DEBRA International and DEBRA Singapore. We're going to be asking her about epidermolysis disease, which is a rare skin disease, and the conference held here today. Thank you for joining us. Would you please tell me about EB, or epidermolysis, as a rare disease, and what are the latest scientific research on this topic?
Thank you so much. Epidermolysis bullosa, or we call it EB, is a very rare skin disorder, genetic skin disorder. That means you inherit it from your parents. In the Middle East and Egypt, and in many countries where we have the culture of consanguinity, which means when you marry in your family, the chances of having genetic diseases is much higher. That means more people who have this culture will have EB or other rare genetic skin disorders.
So it's mainly results from consanguinity?
That's correct. Consanguinity plays a very important role. In fact, EB can be anywhere in the world, even when the parents are from different cultures and different countries. You can still have that means that your children will have the same disease, or you can marry somebody and the chances are low, but you can have a low chance of the disease. But in the culture where you have consanguinity or intermarriage in the same culture or families, the chances are much higher. And I understand in Egypt, the percentage of consanguinity is very high, 33%. Any country where the culture encourages consanguinity or marrying in the same families, you will have these chances. So it is natural that in these countries you will have many patients with epidermolysis bullosa and other genetic diseases, not just EB.
Is it contagious?
Not at all. EB is not contagious at all. My daughter has EB, my husband has EB, and you can hug people with EB, you can eat from the same plate, you can kiss them. It is not at all contagious. But the people with EB are more prone to infection, so they need to be careful of us. Yes. This is the first MENA region Congress for EB, and we are very proud and very excited by this enormous program that our host, the Yasmin Al-Samra Foundation, has put together in support from the National Research Center, as well as many of the healthcare professionals and government officials in Egypt. So we are very excited about it. Our dream as DEBRA International is to create a world where every person with EB has access to healthcare and social support. And this event in Egypt is crucial, is going to be change made for the region, because Egypt is the bridge between the Middle East and the African continent. It is one of the very few DEBRAs. If you look at the map of DEBRA International, Africa and the Middle East, the African continent and the Middle East, we have only two DEBRAs. With this conference, we hope we will be able to see much more engagement amongst all the stakeholders: clinicians, researchers, government officials, regulators, pharmaceutical companies, medical students, and patients. We hope to see more engagement, more movement towards awareness, towards research, and maybe setting up DEBRA organizations in the Middle East and the African continent. Awareness is the key to making a difference for people with EB. We can work with government and healthcare officials and doctors to give medical support. But people with EB suffer more from the lack of awareness and the stigma and people's fear and people's disgust towards people who have certain wounds on their body. Creating awareness will mean a better life for people with EB, better social life. How to create this awareness is up to every one of you, every one of us. And this event, this media interview, is one of the most important ways of spreading this awareness amongst all the viewers and listeners. Yes. Finding a cure has been our dream and remains our dream, so that every person with EB can live a pain and suffering. But that dream will take a few more years, maybe more than a few years, to be reality. Currently, we have two treatments. One is a topical gel, and the other is a gene therapy. We do expect more treatments that will be soon announced, and we are very optimistic that we will have these treatments. But there is a big challenge. These treatments are very expensive. Like most treatments for genetic diseases, these treatments are not going to be affordable for many people who do not have access to national healthcare, paid national healthcare systems which recognize rare diseases. It will be extremely expensive. We have two treatments that are approved by FDA as well as the European Medicine Agency, EMA, but they are currently not available in every country in the world, only in a few countries. But we will be working to bring those treatments to Egypt. But more importantly, we will need the public support and the government support to make it available, affordable, and accessible to all patients in Egypt and the region.
I'm very proud from attend this is the first time medical conference for this EB disease, يعني real disease. We are support with the government because very important to يعني discover this disease, and we are committed to working endlessly to address this issue and provide open-ended support. I would like to thank everyone who at first medical conference in Egypt, very proud, and very thanks for Dibra organization led by Mrs. Jean Ouriet. I'm very proud in this happening in Egypt first time.
The latest developments have been on gene therapy approaches to either replace the proteins and genes that are defective or reduce the level of blistering that's present. The main four types of EB are genetic. It's a genetic disease. The ones that where patients get skin blistering later in life, it's autoimmune blistering diseases. Slightly different proteins are affected. Immune based disease. There are some drugs that can dampen down the immune system to help fight the immune associated skin blistering. But focus of Deborah in general is trying to help the genetic disease.
As the Cairo Opera House is always keen to present and preserve the classical music by indulging classical concerts in its monthly program, the pianist Mahmoud El-Batran staged in an authentic chamber music performance. Mahmoud El-Batran is an Egyptian pianist and was among the winners of the 7th edition of the Chopin Piano Competition for Children and Youth in November 2021. El-Batran studied the piano under Sharif Salah at the Talents Development Center, a body operating under the Cairo Opera House, and developed interest in Western classical music at a very young age, dedicating a big part of his time to piano.
Yeah, actually, this concert specifically is not chamber music. It's a solo recital, so it's just a classical performance. So, and I'm studying English law at Cairo University. I'm not in the Cairo Conservatoire. So, yeah, I played the piano since I was 14, and it's 9 years now. A solo performance for any instrument. It's not just the piano, or it can be a violin, a flute, and clarinet, or anything else. But it's like a solo performance with the orchestra. I chose Debussy, Chopin, of course, because he's my favorite. Beethoven, a sonata for Beethoven, Les Adieux. And I said Debussy and Francis Poulenc.
The program included many classics and international compositions for great composers such as Frédéric Chopin, Beethoven, Claude Debussy, and François Poulenc. It was held in 2021, and I took the first prize. And when it was held again in 23, I took the first prize also. So, and the first prize, it was like a classical interpretation. I took the first prize also in this one. Actually, both, but I prefer solo performances like the piano recital right now. I don't know why specifically, but I think because Chopin is a little bit romantic. No, all was totally fine. We didn't talk so much. It was like the last classical performance. It was Mendelssohn with the orchestra. It didn't take so much. It was just two rehearsals or something. Actually, I'm not wishing for something specifically, but just to be an international classical pianist. kind of concerts allows different instruments to entwine together, releasing beautiful melodies and give the chance to classic music lovers to enjoy the night and encourage other audience to approach to such classy art. Shuruq Bikir, Cultural Magazine.
Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen. It's the top of the hour and these are today's